So I'm very happy now to introduce 3 students from Sciences, and we love to have students present. It's one of the features of this conference. So I want to introduce Rahul. Hello, Rahul. Tracy and Ben, and they're going to present on their topic, Microbiome-Inspired Green Infrastructure, a Novel Paradigm for Urban Health and Ecosystem Restoration.
Good morning, residents of planet Earth. Just before we start, curious, when's the last time we took a walk at a park?
Yesterday.
Oh, that's a good answer. Okay. WHO does suggest that we should live very closely to green spaces. Actually, their suggestion is about 5-minute walk to a green space. So the walk recently is a very good answer. Just before our team presents on the Microbiome-Inspired Green Infrastructure, MIGI, we'd like to look at the Christian perspective of this topic first. So what does the Bible tell us to do, and what does it imply us to do? The 3 verses we selected here are Genesis 1, verse 28, Psalms 24, verse 1, and Mark 12, verse 31. And as you read through them, you'll notice that it is not just our mandate as Christians to protect our environment, but it's also our mandate to protect our health. And then protecting our environment would be protecting our own health. So Rahul is going to take us through the agenda of our presentation.
Okay, so we are going to start our presentation by introducing a little bit about the microbiome's role in environmental and human health, urbanization and its impact on microbial diversity, the environmental microbiome health axis, microbiome-inspired green infrastructure, and end our presentation with some concluding remarks. So microorganisms are the most abundant organisms on the earth. There are at least 1 trillion species of microbes on the planet, out of which a minority of them causes infections, and the remaining species are useful and essential to life on the planet. And they're found across all sorts of environments, as you can see from the figure, volcanoes, hot springs, and they perform many different functions. Some of them in the ecosystem are nutrient cycling, soil formation, decomposition, and they also provide us with food and medicine. So all these important functions and what they have to provide us can be impacted by urbanization. And here is one definition of urbanization. It refers to the process of population concentration into urban areas, accompanied by the growth of cities and towns and the conversion of rural areas into urban ones. So urbanization affects land use. It reduces the availability and diversity of natural habitats. It affects vegetation cover, causes soil disturbances, causes many different pollutions, changes in the hydrology, and it also impacts the interaction between humans and environmental microbiota. And overall, it reduces the microbial diversity. So microbial diversity is very important, both in the environment as well as within the human microbiome. And biodiversity helps for species to interact and various ecological functions to take place. And so microbiomes of the host, host, for example, humans and the environment are interlinked. So microbial diversity leads to various functions in the human body, such as digestion, metabolism, immunity, and other physiological functions, as you can see in the diagram here. And any sort of disbalance in this diversity, known as dysbiosis, can lead to many diseases, such as obesity, allergies, and even cancer. And often this dysbiosis is observed in urbanized environments.
As Rahul mentioned, there's a very close connection between the environmental microbiome and the microbiome in the human health. The diagram on this slide, it illustrates the niches that make up the human microbiome, and 3 of them, the mouth, the nose, and the skin, have direct contact with the environment. So what you'd have is that if there's an imbalance in the microbiome and the environment, you'd expect an imbalance in the microbiome of the human body. And this is what we related to the love bug effect, which relates to the connection that we have as human beings to nature. You mentioned that you had a walk yesterday at the park, and I'm curious, what made you want to walk in the park?
I love being in God's creation.
Exactly. We want to be in connection to nature. And this connection that we have with the environment can be disrupted by what is known as the dysbiotic drift, which is a gradual imbalance in composition of microbial communities and environment. This is popularly caused by pressures such as urbanization. In order to enhance the axis of the environmental microbiome health axis, we suggested a couple steps that we could each take to enhance this axis, and one of them is early exposure to diverse ranges of microbes in the environment. Another one is, like I said, take a walk in the park, and this would include participating in community gardens to increase socially inclusive, high-quality green spaces. Another option could be participating in green prescriptions, such as direct contact with the environment or perhaps therapeutic horticulture.
Another way to enhance the axis is through microbiome-inspired green infrastructure, or MIGI. This is distinct from conventional green infrastructure because it acknowledges and recognizes the significance of microbiota in the health of the environment. Their main objectives of MIGI is to promote public health, and this is through the interaction of humans and microbiota to enhance immune regulation, as well as enhance urban ecosystem functionality from a microbial perspective. This is a multidisciplinary approach and requires the collaboration of urban designers, public health experts, microbial ecologists, and many more. In this figure, you can see this just illustrates a symbiotic relationship between the environment and us as humans. One big aspect of MIGI is the microbiome rewilding hypothesis. This is the idea that if we restore biodiversity to urban settings, we can promote human health. And MIGI also relies on indigenous knowledge. So foraging has been linked to higher biodiversity in the human microbiome, but has been largely phased out in urban and industrial settings. MIGI also hopes to consider ancestral and cultural microbiomes, the idea that from an interethnic lens, the human microbiome vastly differs between individuals. So any health promoting strategies should encompass all cultures and ethnicities, as well as ecological justice. So if MIGI is implemented, then access to the land should be fair and equal for everyone. Other benefits of MIGI includes green barriers such as a green hedge to allow for noise pollution reduction, as well as absorption of particulates in the atmosphere. And there's also the idea of green prescriptions, where nature-based interventions can help with chronic diseases due to dysbiotic etiologies. For successful MIGI implementation, there must be collaboration at all stages of construction. In the definition and preparation phases, there must be defined MIGI aims and objectives, as well as a multidisciplinary team of professionals. During the concept development and technical design phases, there must be the integration of cultural knowledge and practices, as well as considerations for many other ecological dynamics. In this phase, risk assessments and biosecurity assessments will be taken out as well. And finally, in the construction, use, and evaluation phases, there should be education of contractors and civilians, as well as post hoc assessments such as snagging surveys to allow for management plans and biogeochemical monitoring.
We connected the concept of planetary health, which is the reason for our presence here today, with the One Health approach, which recognizes that the importance of environmental stewardship and conservation to protect not just our health, our animals, and that of the environment. It advocates for sustainable use of resources that we've been gifted by God, and the wildlife conservation, as well as sustainable use of land. This would be able to protect our environment, and in that protect ourselves. We had a finishing statement that said that this interconnected space that we call planet Earth, it's not just our health that is important, but that of our environment as well. Thank you.
Question for you and your group. Have you taken your work and your presentation to the administration to see how things here at Trinity Western could be used to incorporate that, like community gardens or green roofs or anything, to really, have a student voice in empowering this campus to take advantage of some of your research and some of your findings?
We haven't contacted the administration yet, but we have the back 40. I'm not sure if it's still raining outside, but if you do get a chance, just up across the railway, there's plenty of green spaces. So we've got that of our own here at Trinity, and we're grateful for that. We haven't done much research or contacted the administration, but we know that Trinity has already provided us with a green space of our own.
Barb Astle. Can I respond to that? Mitch? Yes. We do have what's called the Planetary Health Report Card here at the university, and we're in our second year. The faculty, School of Nursing undergraduate students that's been leading that. And we have had, and we'll share with you some of the work that is being done here at Trinity in terms of sustainability. So it was an initiative that was originally started by medical students in 2019, and then nursing has cottoned on. We're the first to do it in Canada, and we have students presenting right now. So just wanted to let you know our administration is supporting us. So thank you.